Hello everybody, my name is Taylor Bissett, and I will be discussing my computer science capstone at Everett Community College. A little bit about me before I get into it. Again, I am Taylor Bissett. I am a father, a husband, a veteran, and a lifelong learner. These are the things that define who I am, but they also help guide me in my academics. I recently received my virtual diploma for my Associate in Arts and Science with high distinction here at Everett Community College. And last quarter, I started my journey at Western Washington University as a junior. For my honors capstone, my initial intent was to create an educational video game that would teach people Python basics. Now, there are plenty of games out there that teach coding, but I wanted to try it myself as somebody actively learning programming basics. My intent was to do some world building, create characters and assets, and then specifically I wanted to develop user interface. With Lonnie as my mentor, I was able to redefine the scope of what it is that I actually needed to do. I obviously had big hopes and dreams, but I got a little too ambitious. Luckily for me, my mentor let me know that what was truly important about an honors capstone is not the deliverable, but the process and the learning methods that I actually went through. So in this project, I decided to use Unity, as it is an open source game engine. I had to also learn C#, which was a new language for me. Luckily, this is very similar to C, and it's similar to Python. It has its own unique syntaxes, but the general concepts are all the same. And with Unity's game engine, it has its own unique methods that once you learn what they are and how to use them, it makes the process go a lot more smoothly. With version control, something that I learned in Lonnie's class was that it helps you maintain a backup in case something catastrophic happens on your device. Version control is super important because you can always go backwards and recover your project from a previous state that was functioning in the event that you do something that crashes everything. Another plus is that you can go back and see your journey on what you created. A lot of the tools that I used in this project were C# as a new language, Unity as a new engine, and I really got into GitHub and how to use its repositories. For my assets, I was using GIMP and Inkscape in order to create visual arts, and I utilized Zapsplat Sound, which is an open source free soundbite and music software. As far as the video recording for my devlogs, which my mentor told me was probably the most important part of this project, I used OBS to record. I used DaVinci Resolve in order to edit my videos and audio. And then I used YouTube Creator Studio to actually upload it onto the internet where it can live forever. What I ended up trying to do was create a pseudo IDE where the user or player of the game would be able to type in code and then the game would run it. I didn't want to give full access in case somebody wanted to get malicious, but essentially I spent a lot of time building the UI, and then I went back and I started to learn how to parse and print specific things from the command line. This was really essential to my learning process because it brought me back to the first 3 classes of programming basics and had me dive in deeper. I also created a lot of custom classes, which Ehab and Lonnie, my 2 mentors in the past and present, helped me really develop. This re-scoped my whole project because I was no longer worried about creating a functional game. I had shifted my focus to learning something super in depth that I previously only lightly understood. I had uploaded all of my devlogs onto YouTube, and this made it super easy for Lonnie to actually review everything that I had done. I spent dozens and dozens of hours learning and creating, and I had to condense it as much as I could into these videos. And I believe it's about 2.5 hours of super sped up video footage of my entire development process. For me, the final takeaway is something that my mentor had told me, which is the learning experience is what's most important, especially when you're getting into something that you have never done before. We will always have hurdles, especially when we encounter something brand new, but you can always pull from previous experiences to help you get past these issues. And once you do have that success, you will now have this new skill that you can carry forward. For me, that's what made this Honors Capstone an amazing experience. And it was a really good way for me to finish my time here at Everett Community College.